Welcome to Galactic Explorers with intuitive channelers Daniella and myself, Dallas. Get your alternative fix.
Got it. You got it.
Get your alternative thought fix with a joyride through earthly, spiritual, metaphysical, scientific, and everyday topics explored with the Galactic Explorers. All right, so we're going to do bowl pull today because it's just that kind of day. The energy's flying and freeing.
Beautiful day outside. We should be doing this outside if there weren't so many people out there with freaking chainsaws and shit doing yard work.
I love spring. And summer is just around the corner. I can't wait.
It's about to get hot up in here.
This one's like, okay, there you go. Ooh. This is a question.
Fire away.
All right. Let's see. Do you hold yourself back because you don't want others to be uncomfortable having a strong energy field?
Well, that's a big old topic.
That's a good one. Ooh. 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 Let's get into it, shall we?
Well, do you hold yourself back anymore with your energy field?
I think there are times you have to kind of like, it's a game almost, and you have to learn to play of who you're like communicating, talking with, or if I'm doing a session with somebody, it's just kind of where they're at and not matching where they're at vibrationally, but
it's like playing to the particular crowd you're in front of.
Right. Just like, okay, how much of my energy will I pull out, or, you know, because you can, I know, you know what I'm talking about. If sometimes we have this bold field, this about us sometimes where I think people instantly will be, oh, she's aggressive, or, oh, right. And it's just, that's our field, you know, right. Where I can tone it back. But if there's a situation where I need to have my feathers out, I'll have my feathers out. But or working with clients or whatnot, if having my energy field, it's kind of, I do tone it back, you know, because it's not about my energy field, it's their energy field.
Right.
And but at the same time, I have my ground, right? I'm grounded. If that makes sense. I'm trying to think of the words to say to bring this out in a simple way. Well, what about you? As I gather my thoughts, how do you go about this?
You're bringing forward some like fierce tiger energy. You just keep.
I know. Meow.
Well, I think that's kind of what it is too. I used to a lot, because you get told that you're like intimidating, or that you're, you know, come off as aggressive, or to whatever, to like your colleagues, or, you know, whoever around you. To some degree, I think it's true in the sense that for those of us that do naturally have a big, what people would call a big energy field about it, you know, that big dick energy field about them, is that I think at first is that we don't know what we're wielding.
Right.
And so it can kind of accidentally be sort of just like waving your dick around in that sense, right. Where, you know, it's like you are inadvertently, you know, offending people and rubbing people the wrong way. And, you know, it's like doing that kind of thing, being intimidating unnecessarily or whatever, because you're not using the energy consciously. So there's that aspect of it, like early on. And then when you become aware of it and really how big it is, that sometimes then the reaction then is to recoil it all and try and make yourself as small as possible so that
Right.
you're not viewed as threatening, so that like, you know, quote unquote supposedly like alleviates a lot of your interpersonal issues, because it's like, oh, so you're, you know, you're not playing big anymore. But then what you kind of come to find out, at least in my experience, is that you can't stay small because it's fucking uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. But I think you mentioned like it's the,
So then you learn to use it
right. Yeah.
consciously and constructively,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
said, where it's like, where if you need to bring out your fears, you can and utilize it, but you don't have to be leading with that foot of force all the time.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
it's always there, but you're like not leading with that as, you know, like your first tool. It's because it's never not going to be there, because even as small as you try to make yourself,
Mhm.
you're always going to intimidate somebody, because
Right.
it's their, and it's also having to do with their perspective of you. So at some point you can't control that either, and that's like a whole nother kind of side of this, is that
Yeah.
people are going to see that you how they're going to see you, and you don't really have any control over that, so it's not up to you, you just kind of have to do your thing.
Yeah. Totally. That's
So I would
yeah.
say it's like, yeah, learn to use it consciously, but I wouldn't say necessarily make yourself small. You just don't lead with
Right.
that energy force, because it's like, you know, when you're using the energy force of it, like you said, it
Mhm.
feathers out. But yeah, it's an interesting progression to where it's like you're not conscious of it, and then you get conscious of it and you get like scared of it and don't want to use it and make yourself small to try and make other people comfortable.
Mhm.
And then you come around to realize that, well, you can't make everybody comfortable because not everybody's your person,
Right. Yeah, you come to that realization.
but you don't also have to lead with it in every situation. So there's like no necessity to like go around alienating people
Or yourself.
or yourself.
Yeah. Or
That's a
yourself.
very good point. So I think that would kind of, I don't know. Yeah, because I don't, to the best of my ability, don't go small anymore. Sometimes I do it subconsciously and then I see it happen and I'm like, oh, because that's like
Yeah.
a trigger reaction. That's like an
Mhm.
old reaction to like
Right.
particular stimulus, or what do you call trigger, or environment or whatever. And then I have to
Mhm.
go, righto. Not that that's not me anymore. That's like just an old pattern. It's like, okay, let's just go ahead and do this other thing. It's
Right.
like, remember who you are.
And it's safe to be that right now.
Safe to be that.
Yeah. I think that's a good sum of it all. It's really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you wanted to pull another one?
Yeah, I was just thinking that 'cause I'm like, I don't think we could really tap into it anymore.
Mm-mm.
Good. All right, let's do another one. Maybe we'll
Let's
do
do
a
another
couple
one.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's play with this a little bit. Sounds good one.
maybe this should be a viewer questions one. There you go.
Yeah. See, we just flow with it.
There you go.
Okay. Humans. I'm pulling
Fucking
another
humans.
one.
Fucking humans.
No, I don't want to talk about humans. We're stupid. Just kidding. Ooh, this is a good one. Dimensional frequency, density, collectives coming through frequency.
That's a big topic.
It's a good one though. I mean, it's kind of like going on with that other one of holding yourself and energy back, and then definitely, when you channel,
Mm-hmm.
channel other entities or whatnot, and that frequency that we're at matching with theirs.
Yeah, well, you
Or
definitely have to match with them and have to be in your own frequency,
yeah,
or like be, how they say, it's like being in your own power.
right. And so owning that and knowing, I think that's the thing. I think the flexibility of, like when we go out or we come back in, and then meeting up with another entity of sort, that we can reach out, but then we're reaching out to their frequency. And I was going somewhere with this for a minute. Dude, it's so morning. All over the place with it. Okay, so we're matching with their frequency, and it's
Yep. And they're matching with ours. So
They're
like we
matching
meet
with
them halfway.
ours.
Yep.
And it's knowing
It
that
reminds me of like what
the
you were
power
talking
of
about
the
with your
power.
client.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you're not trying to overpower them or anything, and you're not trying to shy away from them, because obviously they came to you to be treated by you and your energy that you represent, but you're also
Right.
not leading with like the fierce foot necessarily, as it were.
Right.
Big dick energy. So you were like matching with them a bit. So it's like you're not meeting them, you're not trying to or shall I say, you're not matching them, you're like meeting them halfway, in the sense where it's like you're presenting an opportunity to them to then meet you so that
Yes.
they can be healed, because
Right.
it's like them that has to, it's them that has to come halfway to accept being healed, because
Right.
us as the healers can't actually heal them in that, like we don't heal anything in that sense. Like we present and represent the healed state to them, which is coming halfway.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what you were maybe going with, like where the channeling thing too, where it's like,
yes,
the entities are coming to us in a sense where it's like they are presenting a higher state of being, representing a higher state of being for us to come match. And then we have to rise to the occasion, as it were, bring ourselves close enough to them so that we can then receive that.
Yes. And it's owning your own power in that, right? It's owning it, your own, knowing that is your own true power, and not that you're taking anything from anybody.
Right.
Right. We're bumping up against each other, going like a high five, like, hey, yeah,
right. Yeah.
cool. Or opening doors. I always see it as like a door opening and allowing, whatever to come through, if it's in the highest good, or what it that person needs, or what I need, or
right.
what message needs to come through.
Right.
But it's being aware of it, and it's being
right. And then again, the frequency has to do with the feeling.
Yes.
Right. So it's frequency of feeling. So it has to do with how you feel. Because like that state of, it's like that high rate of, almost like you feel kind of jittery and bouncy.
Excited.
Like, yeah, that excitement feeling. You feel that, what that feels like internally. And that's the state that you're trying to get to. That's the halfway up. So think about that for a second. That actually just crossed my brain. Thanks for that, guys. Is that, so think about it. It's like, so if you're feeling your highest excitement, which is almost like feeling liquid gold honey chocolate pour through your entire body, right?
Yeah.
We're meeting them halfway. They're coming down, well, they're quote unquote coming down in emotional frequency and feeling. So imagine how they must feel all the time.
It's like they're high all the time.
All the fucking time. But that's their natural state of being, is just to be in that excited, happy, natural, loving, synchronous state all the time.
Right.
And they're presenting that to us as an opportunity to, like, is representative of an opportunity, as a way we can live our lives. And it's up to us to match it. So when we do match it, that's why we can get those communications from them.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're meeting them halfway on the feeling, like creating that feeling in ourselves consciously. Speaking with them. And they're transmitting those info packets or downloads or whatever you want to call them, inspirations, that helps us create our society, or at least our personal lives and realities, closer to what they actually represent.
Right.
In their state. Which is our evolutionary, what do you want to call it? Tract. That's where we're headed, like humanity is headed evolutionarily wise.
Yeah, right. We're opening up into that emotional frequency feeling
Right.
where,
Evolution isn't physical, it's psychic.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
There they go again, just spouting off, telling you stuff. They just
I know, sorry.
see, this is what you call live channeling, folks. That whole bit
Right,
right there, not me. That was them.
right. Oh yeah. And then here I'm over here like, I'm like, yeah.
See, we do this for one another all the time. Like we go into channeling states and deliver messages to one another all the time. But you could do it consciously like this.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
about
that's the new
being in
thing
the state
too.
and letting
Right.
it flow out.
What we've talked about of like when we channel, it's like this new way of channeling of it's not just you're in this meditative state. Like we're here just talking and we're talking about something we love and we're into and the downloads come and they come and speak through us and then you just vomit sometimes or I'll vomit sometimes. And that is that higher self, that higher frequency going
just pulling
all
right through your mouth.
Whoever needs to hear this is who needs to hear this.
Yep.
And that's the beautiful thing about frequency. And we have YouTube and Facebook and whatever else, at our fingertips, and that we can just go on here and go, hey, look at what I got to say. And somehow you go, oh, what is this about? And then you click on it and then you're like, oh,
I needed to hear that. That's some kind of validation. Yeah.
Right. It's
cannot tell you how many times we get told that, where it's like, I just ran into your channel by accident, and then I ended up listening to a couple of your videos and gosh damn, I mean, I had no idea that other people thought like this. It was like such a level of validation for me and blah, 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 blah. It's like,
yeah.
Because it's happening automatically for a lot of you guys out there, but you just don't know. It's like you're not understanding the experience you're going through because it's not what our parents went through. It's not what our grandparents went through. To a large degree, it's a whole new paradigm. So since we're not used to it, we weren't taught about it. We weren't taught how to navigate through it because we were taught how to navigate through like hard, dense 3D. I mean, they're coming through 4 and 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D. Thank you. They're like, excuse me, I'm forgetting one right now. And I know there's more Ds, but those are the ones that are talking to me at the moment, is that range. But that's, it's like, so we're moving into using that as our, what do you call it? Like algorithm. The algorithm of humanity is like leaving the third density of just physicality and entering into the 4D of using your emotions and 5D of frequency of light as from emotions and feeling, which is 4D. So it's like we're doing 4 and 5 kind of together at the same time.
It's so fast. And they just go so fast, faster. But I think as we all evolve, those higher densities will just be.
Oh yeah, they'll start dropping in for us then because we'll be at a different spot.
Yeah. I mean, we see it with our children. You see with the world of today, how the old is no longer holding in any spot. And we are so vocal and so aware of, wait, that doesn't look right. This isn't the way. No, like everything is, whoosh, it's turning, it's shifting, and it's going to be a fucking shit show.
It's already a shit show. We're already in the middle of it. People are like, oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Like, bitch, it's here. It is here. Do you not see what's going on with this fucking attempt at this global pandemic and all the things, Black Lives Matter and all those extra stuff to like divide us? Like the way that they cover it in the media and the way that they stir everybody up about it instead of encouraging like actual intelligent debate. Like they're stirring up just the emotional negative content of everything with it. It's already happening. The battle for humanity is now.
Right. Oh yeah, and it has to happen this way to wake people up on
absolutely
the people that are in the
to be made as to whether or not you're going to play that game.
Yeah.
the 3D dense game, which is fine, you know, knock yourself out. You go play on another Earth plane. The rest of us are going to go play over here. And we'll just stop seeing one another at some point. We'll just fall out of each other's lives and just won't know what, you know, happened, and, you know, forget they even existed half the time.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, yeah, the battle is happening right now. So if anybody says it's like it's over, or that, you know, we're still waiting for the ball to drop, no. Ball has dropped, shoe has dropped, shit's on the ground. It's time to decide whether or not you're going to leave the fucking shoe there and let it fester, or if you're going to pick it up and move on. And that's a frequency choice.
Yes, it totally is.
It's a feeling frequency choice, because if you think about how you feel driven by all this media madness and this 3D and this polarization, us against them, us against, you know, whoever, how do you feel? Versus when you unplug from all of that and you take your tech-free weekends and stuff, and you don't have any of those cares or concerns because they're not affecting you in your actual physical reality in the moment.
Right.
That's a choice.
Yep.
So when you think about frequency.
Yeah.
You saying?
I say, how do you want to play?
Yep.
How do you want to play the game? What frequency do you want? Be in that frequency. It's literally just, doop, I'm going to be on in this timeline over here. I think fine.
Right. And people say it's like, oh, it's not that easy to change how you feel. It can be. Because both Dallas and I know, can speak. It's like both of us have been depressed. Oh, suicidal. Yeah. Like, we've been there. We get it. But it can be a choice in that sense where you, as an adult, have tools, even if it's just something like listening to a different kind of music. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just going outside for a walk or just laying in the fucking grass. Just some, I mean, they're all tools, but you have things, experiences, options at your disposal that you could utilize to lift yourself up. Mm-hmm. Without hard drugs, prescription drugs. We've done it. I've got friends that have done it. So it is, as hard as it is to hear sometimes, it is ultimately a choice. As to, do you want to keep feeling this way? Then no. Okay, then. What are some things that you could do right now that would make you feel better or help you get this emotion out and put it out somewhere, you know, like get it out of your body, paint, listen to music, go for a walk, I mean, you know, garden, something like, what are the things that you enjoy to do? Do one. And the more you do that, the more you pull yourself out of it. And then the more your outside reality changes. There you go. There you go. I was gonna say, speaking of moving stuff out of your body, Miss Dallas over there giving us a big old yawn.
I'm always moving stuff out of my body.
Speaking of moving energy, fucking burping and yawning this whole damn podcast up and
But I think that's the thing too. We have to like keep in mind that we're always like changing. We're always evolving. It's never you're gonna get to this high peak of some sort of I know this or that. No, you're always evolving. It's always a thing. Your body's gonna go through different things, your environment, the world, it's always gonna be changing. And there's a saying that there's always something, but you can take that always something and go, okay, there's always an opportunity for me to change and to make myself happy and to enjoy where I'm at, or there's always something, or shit's always going to happen. It's just going to be shit. It's how your perspective and your outlook of it too. You have to learn to see the other side of it, because then it's not going to be easy. It's hard. Like this shit is not love and light and angels and like it's fucking dark.
Yeah, this journey was not for the faint of heart. This is not fucking preschool, kiddos. I don't know why in the spiritual community, like, that they've got this fucking idea that, you know, humanity is fucking preschool. No. Masters. Fucking hardcore masters.
Yeah.
It's like, This is like getting our 12th PhD, you guys. What's beyond a PhD? There isn't about whatever is beyond a PhD that you could get. This is a
Right.
master's and a master's and a doctorate and a doctorate and a master's. Oh,
Not
and
a
by the way,
doctorate.
you forgot everything you knew, so you had to learn it this whole entire.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a caveat of it, and that's why it makes it a master's class. Because you have to remember as you go. Figure it out as you go. Best part is you still graduate either way. But right, it's not meant to be, yeah, it wasn't meant to be easy, like you said. It's like we came to a very dense planet.
But
Dense
this
ideals,
dense
dense
planet,
physicalities, everything.
right? I mean, just
Ego, personality, all of that. I know, I was just burping a minute ago again.
yeah, you were.
So it's not for the faint of heart. So don't put
No.
yourself down if you trip up every once in a while.
Yeah, because you're
I
going
think
to.
is where
That's
you were
part of
going
the
with that.
process. Yeah, it's part of the process. It's part of the thing. Trip yourself up and go, oh, that was pretty funny. Did you see that? Okay.
It's like, did you see me take that gainer off the stairs? Fuck yeah, man. That fucking hurt, but damn. I'm gonna watch my step. Shit.
Oh, lolly.
Yeah, right, boy, howdy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about changing. Yeah, it's like making a choice to change your perspective about things in life, for sure. Whether it's like you said, if life's half empty or it's half full, or regardless of what's going on, you are your own sovereign being and can basically entertain yourself and keep yourself in an uplifted space.
Right.
Emotionally.
Because you have your own energy field and you're aware of your own energy field. And if you're
it's
aware of your
unique.
own energy field, then you fucking know the frequency of what you want to be in. You do. You have to choose to be in that frequency. You gotta walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's not easy to do all the time. It's not. And me and that one, wherever she is on your screen,
I know, it's always opposite, right?
have walked it and have talked it. And that's why we're doing this, because we want to go, hey, listen,
Right.
we got you. We know what's up.
Yeah, we walked it, we've talked it, we fell down, we ate shit, we literally fell into shit, fell on our ass, broke a leg. Like
I didn't break any legs, but sometimes it felt like it. And sometimes I still go through it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I still will have the most stupidest
shit happen.
Weirdest, messed up, like why? But then it's like, okay, what level am I at?
Right.
How am I going to go through this? Am I going to react to things the way I used to, or am I changing my reaction? What frequency? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing me that. Thanks for marrying me. Thanks for being the asshole.
Right. Yeah. And then, the more you do that with your frequency, the more the channeling comes, the more the synchronicities come, because you're aligning yourself with the frequency of, what do you say, the universe?
Yeah. But then here's the thing. That doesn't mean you got to go and do a podcast and be a healer if that's not what you want. You can still work at Target and just be more attuned.
It applies to your life however your life is.
It's just a way of life. It's a new way of life and a new way of being.
It's a perspective.
Yeah.
Being conscious. So it applies to everywhere.
Yeah.
To anybody.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. That's what's the beautiful thing about this stuff. It's just a way of life.
Set of tools. So yeah, I think we fucking nailed that one. I was just all over here, just like, I don't know. It's like we're transmuting something over here. Like there's something.
Yeah. Did you want to do another one? Or are we at time? Are
we could be at time, or we could do another one.
Let's do one more. Let's just see what comes up. I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe it might go, maybe not. awakening versus life coach. So we pretty much just talked everything about awakening. Life
Yeah.
coach is just someone's like, write your affirmations and do this and do
I think
that.
life coaches are more mental. I think they work on more mindset work and more about creating habits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
setting goals, and like, so it's essentially just, the difference is it's a different set of tools that they're imparting to you. So as far as validity, it's really just whatever works for you best to get you to do and feel how you want to feel and do. So there's kind of, in that sense, no wrong set of tools. So it's like, if things like mindset work and doing organization and all of that stuff really appeal to like your new way of living, then that's that kind of thing where it's like almost like more psychiatry in a sense, where they're diving down to see where your beliefs are that are holding you back. There's a lot of crossover, but I think that it's more mental in the focus, because it's like the beliefs are only just held in the mind, as opposed to like spiritualists and channelers and healers and things like that working with the spiritual body and the energetic body.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
have people like us that are doing both. And we don't have a name yet.
Right.
There's not a name for that's like something that's more holistic like that, because it's everything.
Right. And I think that's where I get a little, because it's labeling and I don't like labels.
It's like me about gratitude, right? And where they like take the gratitude practice and use it as a label and a badge and that whole thing, right?
Yeah. It's the same thing. Like I hear life coach, I'm just like,
Absolutely.
but don't get me wrong. I mean, I got tons of fucking books.
Oh,
I got Tony Robbins. I ain't gonna lie. I like the dude. He's a high vibration, and I like him because of that. Because I feel his vibration, and I go, "Ooh, I like that." He's got some good stuff.
Right, but you take what you take and you leave what you leave, because it doesn't all resonate with you, like every single method that he utilizes and how he utilizes it.
Right. Exactly.
So you take what you take and you leave what you leave. Yeah,
Right.
and that's just applied to all mentors and life coaches and
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no matter who, what, or when, you don't adopt their whole life being, because you got to find your own.
Right.
But they give you tools, and that's what I do accept and like about, like, oh, there's some tools. But like
Right, they're starting you out with a system to give you an idea and a framework of what's generally worked overall for a lot of people, but then, like you said, ultimately it's up to you to make it your own, so it really works for you on a personal, unique level.
Right. And then that way me and you are creating what we're trying to create, of it's just a way of like whole being, right? It's your spirituality, it's your just way of life, it's everything all
combined
into
with
one.
this, combined with that.
Yeah.
It's all of these aspects that to consider, but not necessarily worry about, but just in the moment these things come up, right? Yeah. So it's an interesting comparison. But yeah, the whole label thing, because it's, it's like the whole entrepreneurial thing. So it was hot to be a life coach because you could, easily coach somebody based off your life experience, which is true. But, again, just a lot of the tools that get taught to people as life coaches are, I think, just very more dealing with mental and a little bit energetic, versus a healer, which is mostly energetic and less mental. It's like the flip-flop of each other.
Right. And see, for me, I throw the mental in there because that's where I come from. Like that's my like whole state. Like there is a mental fact of it because I'm human and that's my physicalness of beingness, but I'm also, I guess, a multi-dimensional whatever person being
of course we are.
in a physical body with the mindset. So how am I going to work this all together as one? Then separating it, because that's what we've done is we've separated, right?
Right.
When it's not, we
It's not
This
separate.
is a fucking tool that we can use.
But it's in combination with all of these other things that they all work in
Right.
sync in combination with one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all symbiotic with one another. So to use Bashar's quote where it's like, if you're only using your mind to navigate the world, you are literally living as half of a person.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Because your
Totally.
higher mind and your spiritual aspect, your multidimensional aspect of yourself, which has a seat within your physical body
Mm-hmm.
also, but that higher part of yourself is the other self that's that should be driving like 75% of the time.
Right.
But because we don't trust that, because we're not taught to integrate the energetic and the spiritual along with the tool of the mental,
Mm-hmm.
we've been taught to rely 100% on the mental and
Right.
none on the spiritual for the most part. We're literally walking around as half of a person.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's why everybody feels so empty. That's why everybody feels so fucking lost, because we're not connected with that higher part of ourselves that that's actually got the ability to see the whole situation and everything around it
Yeah.
and create the method in which you get to the things that you say you want to get to.
Yep. That's
So it's an
right.
interesting combination that you have to use. Like you said,
Yeah.
because it can't just be mental and it can't just be affirmations and spiritual and, like that, which even affirmations in and of itself, I think, is like the way it mostly gets applied, which I think is like a misrepresentation of the original content for the most part, is like it's mostly mental, where you're just like mentally repeating these words in the hope that it rewrites how you believe yourself. When
Right.
in reality, like how you believe in yourself, like you have to rewrite that emotionally too.
Yes.
And even though words can help you rewrite a bit of that script, if you don't feel it and find some way to feel it along with the words, then you're only doing half of the tool. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not really working.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's that same kind of thing.
100,000%.
Yeah. So it's that same kind of thing.
Yes.
So I think life coach versus healer, like that kind of thing, is both of them totally have their role.
Yes.
But at this point, like you were saying, I think it's become so exclusionary and so niche that they've more or less separated a lot of the elements away from one another that should be working in conjunction.
Mm-hmm. Right. As a whole,
As a
because
whole.
we're as a whole right now. Like that's
Right.
our mastery is working the whole fucking system as a
As a
whole.
whole. In the 3D. Because we're what? Masters.
Oh, just kidding.
Because we're what? Just your run-of-the-mill fucking everyday God. Just an everyday run-of-the-mill walking down the street God.
Yeah.
Because we can. Because
Yep.
we're badass. However you want to put it.
Right.
But really, I mean, there are entities and energies that have never physically incarnated to experience the density of this through any kind of conscious awareness understanding.
Yeah. Ooh, that just makes you want to go a little bit deeper. And it's like, oh, not right now. I don't know if you're all ready for that. Just kidding.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out in our
Oh
audience
no,
waiting for it.
everybody's ready. It's I think
They'll hear it if they hear it, and if they won't hear it, if they won't hear it. We could just say whatever we want to say, and they'll hear it if they need to.
it's opening another can of worms. It's with what you just said, and I heard something yesterday that made me just go, of being a teacher, a mentor, life coach, or whatever you want to call yourself, and as I know we've talked, and I do see myself as a God, right? But I don't see myself as a God to be praised. I see myself as a God, as a creator,
Right.
But as we create this, healing routines or this or that, we're still not to be praised or, I
Put on the pedestal.
put on a pedestal, power over power situation, where a lot of those people, they have that aspect about themselves still, and this
Mm-hmm.
kind of spiritual awakening of,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I have achieved this to do this, that's still a power over power play.
Oh yeah.
That you have to do this and this. It's like, no one has to do anything. It's totally what you are drawn to, what you resonate
Mm-hmm.
with. You can go to someone as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as you are expanding and learning, and there is that comfort equalness level together, then yeah, hell yeah, go there. But
Right.
I know we've experienced that total density of there's someone over us, or
There,
here,
yeah, there's like there ends up being a bit of a power over power play.
right? And then that's someone still playing a god
Right.
that's taking that power, right? Just as you want to get into the churches and stuff like that, like there's this, I'm a higher up and you're not, because what? Because you said so?
Yeah. So it's
Because
interesting
it's
how you can still, everybody always assumes that you can't have spiritual abilities and have an ego at the same time, because it's like, there's this whole kind of false idea that um in order to have channeling abilities, or in order to have intuitive abilities, psychic abilities, whatever you want to call it, um that you've had to do all of your work, that you basically have to be like Yogananda, Buddha, Jesus, like you have to be, ascended to be able to access these abilities.
mm-hmm,
No, you have to be able to change a frequency within yourself
mm-hmm.
at any given time to match whatever is attempting to communicate with you. That does not in any sense mean that you have gotten rid of your ego.
Right. It comes with the package, man.
So if you haven't fully done that work and have, basically had your dick stepped on enough to where you have humility about yourself and your abilities,
Excuse me.
in that sense, like we were talking about earlier in the conversation about not needing to pull out your feathers at people
Mm-hmm.
because you're not threatened by anything.
Right.
So there's no need to like lead with the big dick energy. There's no need to play the power play. So unless you've done that work and had your dick stepped on enough and like, been able to recognize a level of humility in yourself to where, like we're saying, don't put me on a pedestal because I'm the same walking God as you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sharing a bit of information with you that I happen to have.
Right. And I see you as a God,
Right.
as I am. And I
Right.
see you the same as I am.
Right. So
Yeah.
then unless that's happened and continues to happen as you recheck yourself, then
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to slip into a lot of those things where it's like you're constantly getting complimented, you're constantly being told like how powerful you are and how much you help people and this is that and the other. It can get to your brain, it can get to your ego.
Yep.
It happens.
Right.
But then it's up to that person who's working with them or this, that, or the other, who is actually the teacher or what. It's like it's up to each individual to decide where they are, what experience they're having, and whether or not they want to continue to have it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because you got to know too that as you evolve, people are there and not there for certain reasons.
Right.
And that's okay to move on. I think that's the hard part as a human. We're like, oh, we
Totally.
feel guilty or bad or shame or whatever.
Or that we have an allegiance to that person because
Right.
we've
That we
like worked with
have
them
to.
for so long, or there's some kind of obligation there to some degree.
Right. But then that's where the teacher should know too, of like, oh, I've done my job with them though. Like I never want to like have anybody as a lifelonger.
Right.
That's not what it's about.
Right.
If you want to stay in a frequency, okay, cool, I get it. But as long as you're expanding in your own way,
Right. And not having the
because,
same issues, yeah, all the time, and just continuing to basically like suck on the teat for attention.
yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's a whole interesting topic in and of itself. But yeah.
All right.
Life coaches and stuff and things and frequencies. So basically just pay attention to yourself. pay attention to how you feel, decide whether or not that's how you want to feel, and make conscious choices about it to the best of your ability in any given moment.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or topics you want us to discuss, drop them in the comments below. Find us on our Anchor podcast home, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of the
stuff.
All of the things. Thank you for joining us. Until then, next time, peace out.